Hi, my beautiful people. Welcome to EBINOTTI Official. I am EBINOTTI, and today we are doing the full moon reading. So welcome. Full moon, currently in I was going to say Capricorn. Capricorn is relevant. It's relevant. I'm not an astrologer. If you're new here, I read the cards. We read the intuitive energy through the elements rather than the zodiacs thus far. We do the elemental breakdowns of the new moon and the full moon and other important energetic shifts, especially for us as divine feminine. So Capricorn wanting to make itself known, but it is full moon Cancer. There's a lot of stuff going on. If you do watch astrologers, there's a lot of things going on with Cancer right now. I know Mars is retrograding in the sign of Cancer, which everybody's kind of talking about because it's a little prickly. Now, I'm a divine feminine, so we read divine feminine energy, or at least through the intuitive lens of divine feminine energy, but we all have divine feminine and masculine energy within us. So if you're a divine masculine here tuning in, you are very welcome. As always, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I'm sure you've heard that more than a few times. So let's talk about this particular full moon and why it is so exciting. Very exciting times here, but a little on the prickly side, okay? Crunchy. It's a little crunchy, I think, is the energy that we've been referencing for a few months now. I think that came out, I'm always a little late to the game, but I think that came out a few months back now when we've really adopted the crunchy energy. So the reason it's so crunchy is because Mars as an energy is heavy divine masculine energy. Heavy. Okay, we got the Emperor. When we're talking tarot and stuff, we're talking Emperor. We've got the higher masculine intellectual energies. We've got the fire element, all the things. And when it's retrograding, that's going to be a difficult energy for Mars no matter where it is in our skies. Mars as a masculine energy, think masculine originally is like the spear, right? It doesn't like to be put on the shelf. It doesn't like to collect dust. It doesn't like to not be spearing out of life. You know what I mean? So a lot of us females and feminines, I talk about this all the time, we have really strong masculine energy. So if that masculine is kind of like needing to be a bit dormant or put on pause or healing mode, or, oh my God, for Mars, the worst of all is thrown into an emotional situation, timeline. Oh, yikes. It gets real sticky when Mars not only is told to sit down and shut up, my shadow wanted to come out with that one, sit down and shut up, but also reflect. Let's talk. You know, the Cancer brings in the water element, but it's the family dynamic. It's the foundational relationships within our communities, our village, and our home. So within the heart. Okay, so if you know any particular Mars heavy people in your life, like Aries, my partner's an Aries, and I think he's actually handling it really beautifully, but I'm a Pisces, I'm a water sign, so I'm already countering the energy with and for him as a divine feminine to his divine masculine. Do you know what I'm saying? You can, but it's the prickles, the prickly, the thorny energy is very much so there. So we get this, I'm getting the image of the rose, right? It's this really beautiful thing. It takes a certain amount of, you know, circumstance and situation and atmosphere to create the most beautiful rose, and it's always going to be prickly. It's always going to have thorns. It's always going to have to go through its process. So this full moon in particular, with full moons, we get an amplification, an amplified, a heightened, a stronger, a fuller type of energy. And with Mars retrograding in Cancer, it's feeling chunky. So giving yourself grace, that's the biggest thing for healing this energy, is giving yourself the grace that is needed, because need is the key word there. Want is definitely not on the table. I'm not saying you can't want things, and we don't want just like a ton of things and there's no desire. It's just desire gets, again, put on the shelf. okay, back burner with the spear right now, and everything about the cup and the heart space, the vessel, you know, needs to be filled. It needs to be cleaned. It's like spring cleaning for your spirit, for your emotional body, and that connection between spirit and physical that is the emotional body. Okay, so we're doing a lot of clearing. Guys, if you're having all of a sudden all the symptoms are coming up. Okay, if you're having a lot of symptoms right now, like we always say, go to your doctor, do the things that you like to do with your education, your intelligence, all the desire that you have. But outside of the physical ailments, the spiritual, emotional ailments are very real. Okay, so the body might be doing all kinds of weird shit. And the real message there is just like, don't panic. Okay, your body is speaking to you. Learn to listen to it. Okay, if you don't want to have real emotional conversations in your life, have them with yourself. At least allow this energy to do what it's here to do for you. And if you just cannot stand the idea of having to, you know, go through the things that we do in our family and relationship dynamics, like apologies and, you know, the downer conversations, the sadness, the frustrations, whatever. If you can't do any of that right now, you just can't even fucking stand the idea of doing that. Try to do it solo dolo. You know what I mean? Like, enjoy the parts of yourself that still needs to process this, because again, this is not about want, this is about need. You will appreciate that you took the time for yourself, even if it's little moments here and there. That is huge shifting. That is huge amounts of healing and cleansing and clearing. It's declutter season. It's, you know, get on your New Year's resolution, your new schedules, your new routines, the things that last year you want to improve on, or for a lifetime you're still not giving up on that goal, right? We talked about that in the last reading cycle with new moon Capricorn. There's that Capricorn energy coming back for us to talk about our core values, our priorities, and maybe even to some extent the things that really are the darker aspects of Capricorn or earth energy, where it's like you're all messed up in the head and your vices and your addictions or weaknesses, you know, those kind of things, or your health and your, you know, like let that feeling of this is what we do every single year. The Christmas season comes every year, regardless of your culture, your beliefs, your desires. It comes every single year. And so does this season, which is the reset. I'm up in northern British Columbia, Canada. Again, if you are new here, welcome to the collective tribe of EBINOTTI. And in northern British Columbia, we get the 4 seasons in their extremes. So it's been a really mild winter so far, but there's a feeling underneath that it's not gonna last, that maybe we will have a mild winter, but there will be other extremes. That's kind of the emotional message. It's like, yeah, it might not be 6 feet of snow overnight, but it's going to be, you know, that on a metaphorical or spiritual or experiential type of level. So we're really kind of still hunkering down in this winter season. We are full on in the winter season, a good couple weeks since the winter solstice crossed us, and we hit that boom, you know, deep frost, winter tires are on, and snow days are a real possibility. And the weather dictates the mood. It dictates, sorry, not the mood. It dictates the day, what we can accomplish in a day. Power goes out, there goes those plans, you know. 6 feet of snow, roads are bad, roads are blocked, things are shut down. Like there's a natural surrender that comes up in this energy that again is very difficult. And I'm not an astrologer, but it's very difficult for Mars to deal with. Okay, so Cancer, full moon Cancer. Full moon Cancer brings us into abuse, especially as feminines. We slip into this really easily as long as we don't have too much going on within the system. We slip into the energy of, okay, pivot. You know, we had these plans today, they're really important to us, or they need to get done. There's that need coming in again, but it can't be done. So there's nothing to be done. So we're not going to fight in that arena. We're just going to pivot. Oh, I don't have to go get these things done because it's a snow day. I can do this instead, you know, declutter my closet, put up that flag, do whatever it is that we were actually desiring to do, and for some reason needs to be done today instead. So there's a real surrender, going with the flow. We love water energy around here. It's so lovely. But again, there's a resistance to it. The divine masculine is really going through it right now. And that's, as divine feminines or anyone with feminine energy, which we all have, can use that to heal and to nurture and to replenish and to, beautify, make comfort and luxury and beauty the task of the day. Okay, that can really bring us into a state of calm and clarity. Decluttering is a big thing. If you look around, you can see decluttering is not high on my list, and neither is a minimalist lifestyle, because I like color, texture, art, creativity to keep me focused. But maybe for you, it's the opposite, and it's time to take all this shit down, paint the walls a nice, focusing, calming, neutral color. I just watched a new video from Corinne Allured on her Mental Gems page, which I've mentioned Corinne before on this channel. She's another YouTuber, does great videos that, again, get you into alignment. If it's for you, great. If it's not, coolio. I'll try to remember to pin this video at the top of the comment section, so it's right there if you want to click and go check it out, as well as in the description box, okay? But Corinne just put out a video on color theory, and it was more the psychoanalysis of what color does for us and what we can subconsciously use it for. So you make the decision consciously to paint your room a certain color, because when you go to sleep, or where you do your work, or your kitchen, or your bathroom, you want them to be a certain state of energy, a certain type of emotion. So choosing nail colors, clothing colors, colors for your environments, textures, overstimulation, understimulation. Okay, these are important things to be thinking about at this time of year, especially under full moon Cancer. Okay, so today is the full moon. I just blew a bubble and spit at the same time. I'm so sorry if you saw that. Today is the full moon, and it's a really great time to get started. Whenever you're watching this, it's a really great time to get started on something new, even if you can't get it done. Get it done. I'm big on not wanting to start something until I can finish out the process, especially in decluttering season, where, as you can see, I have a lot of things to make decisions about whether or not we're keeping or decluttering. I like to take it in chunks. Okay, and if I can't give to that chunk over the next, if it can't be done in a day, then within the 3-day span that I like to get anything done. I don't like to distort my environment to get something done until I can reset it completely. So not leaving things out and about, whether that's emotional, mental, or physical. Okay, full moon Cancer, you really want to keep it nice and simple if you can. I mean, life is complicated. A lot of us in the family dynamic, because we got kids, or we've got big lives. We got jobs and schools and people and responsibilities and all of these social kind of elements. So we're either educating or being educated, it seems, in a lot of different ways. This is a great time to give yourself a leg up, do the meal prep, declutter the thing, finally paint that room blue or orange or whatever, it's time. Now's a great time for that. It'll be, you'll have the energy for it, and it'll be worth it. So cheers to you. We are going to get into cards now. It's time I haven't picked out any decks for us yet. Just having a little look at the altar here. If you're curious about, excuse me, if you're curious about the decks that I use in the readings, they're always listed down in the description box, my entire collection. So if for a particular reading you're like, okay, that's a long list of decks, I don't know which one it was, just leave a comment and I'll let you know. I usually try to say it when I pick out the decks for us as well. So let's get started here. Cheers to you. I'm drinking a Nescafe Sweet and Creamy, talking about new routines, giving grace to the self when it comes to the things we have not yet upgraded or cleaned up a little bit, if we're still doing some things that we know are a little bit toxic, but they're doing the most for us, or, we're feeling that need for the little crutch. It's just give yourself a little training wheel there for a second. It's okay if you're still in training wheels. I've been doing this kind of work for years, and sometimes I really get down on myself about not being farther ahead or better at mastering. You know, I'm very young to have mastered anything in my life. So giving the self a little bit of grace and just enjoying, surrendering to the enjoyment. You made bad choices, next one's going to be great. Oh, next one wasn't great, that's okay, we're not giving up. You know, I'm going to get where I need to. It's getting to know the self as well, and allowing, as long as we're not like really excessively abusing the self, allowing the self to express itself so that those things can be healed once and for all. And then maybe we won't need the chemical input or the sugar or the, you know, whatever it is that we've been doing. So cheers to you on this beautiful day. It's Monday. It feels very much like a Sunday to me right now, though. Feels like a Sunday. Okay, the only deck that's really calling right now, and this is a weird one because we haven't seen it in a while, is the Unknown Animal Spirits. This isn't even a deck that I would typically pull for a full moon reading, but I love the animal totems and spirit guides and familiars energy when a little bit of healing is needed. It's also a great deck for exposure, exposing kind of specific characters around you that are playing a part. So we're going to see what comes up, and we're going to start with the Unknown Animal Spirits. Excellent medicinal energy coming in here for this, and I love that for us. Full moon Cancer, there's an insane amount of healing available to the collective right now if you do actively want to tap into healing. There is room for desire right now, so if you have desires, be sure you're journaling, praying, doing your routines and rituals around those desires. That is still very much so being called for the collective. So let's get into this now. You can light your incense, your candles, say your prayers, whatever you like to do at this point. Whew, very nice deep breath. That felt so relaxing and so beautiful. Okay, bottom of the deck to get us started, the Unicorn Spirit. The reversals in this deck, I read them as external forces, the upright internal forces, okay? So unicorn energy is really beautiful. Coming up here, if you can see it, as the ether element, which is how we read the full moon and new moon energy when we do the collective reading. We do like to tap into the ether element. So the ether's here to support us. The unicorns coming out of all the corners of our lives to be there for us, give us the inspiration, positive influence, happy surprises. Very positive, almost childlike energy, which is playful, fun, fresh type of energy coming in for the collective to get us started. I like that. We're starting in a very positive place. Also a playful, fun, funny. Laughter is coming through as a big healing energy there, but also creativity. I'm seeing glitters, sparkles, rainbows, lights, prisms. So again, taking time to reset the home and add and beautify and add things to the home that make us feel good. Okay, just good. That's it. That's all it has to do. Calming colors, inspiring colors. Okay, as we get our first card out, we're going to get two of these cards. First card out with the air element, if you know that little symbol there, the firefly. Now, this has big fire energy behind it, even though it is the air element. Air and fire are both the masculine elements, air and fire, and then earth and water are feminine. So here we get that fire and air type of energy feeling very masculine. And as you can see, the firefly is a bit of a bursting energy. So we got like a pow type of energy. So anyone can jump on this. This is also anger and frustration and, you know, try not to go, you know, to the full extreme when you feel passionate emotion, especially when it's dark passionate emotion, low frequency passion, because it'll pass quickly. excuse me, that's what this energy is really saying. Whatever it is that's coming up, you can grab onto it, you can let it go, okay? Hot potato here. You got to choose. A little too hot, it's a little too cold, or do you got the Goldilocks effect? So there's some beautiful inspiration coming in for the collective here. If you're creative, if you wanted to write that book, sing that song, learn that skill, a lot of the arts coming through for this, a lot of creative, passionate energy, pregnancy coming through with this, spark. It's also time to start seeding if you're getting ready to do a big garden project this year, a little garden project this year. Like me, I'm just like growing like 5 things, you know, that I really want to see if I can grow. As you know, I'm not doing a garden in my current state, but I can learn, even though I can't do what I know how to do and I'd love to do, grow some of my own food. I can learn some of the key elements outside of being able to do that project. So again, learning how to pivot, learning, having that discernment with the air energy here coming in real strong to say discern, discern, discern. And if your mental energy, your mind, your head is having a really hard time with clarity and brain fog, it's a big thing in the collective right now. You can always discern something by taking it through the heart, okay? When you have lots of confusion, lots of conflicting ideas, emotions, take it through the entire system, all the way down to the root. And that's what grounding is really about. So there's that masculine, feminine balance, you know, that we can really feel there. It's like that's how you not counter the energy, but work with the energy. We don't want to activate conflict, okay? We want synergy. Ooh, good message. Okay. Let's get, oh, that was so fast. I was saying, let's get one more. Bang, and we got it. Bottom of the deck is going to be the black egg as our final theme for the reading. This one's going to sit out on the altar with us as we pull all the rest of our cards. So we started with the unicorn ether element, and we're finishing as our theme here with black egg. So we're going to talk about this and how we're going through the system and really focusing on the crown here. Okay, so the crown is about higher wisdom. It's your higher power. It's your higher intelligence. It's, you know, what it is that you philosophize. Again, those core values coming out, your philosophy coming out. It's a really great time of year during the winter season to reflect on how our philosophies and values have been in alignment and how we've, you know, taken a few Route 67s out the side and been like, whoa, did not like the scenic route. Definitely going back to productivity mode. So really focusing on the self, appreciating the self, getting to know the self. And when it's black's always about protection. Okay, so really going through it here, not a little bit of going through it. We're really going through it. So being very, very careful with the fire and air elements, you know, where our power and our wisdom can easily go dark. Okay. Our second card for the reading in reversed is the buffalo energy. We'll have a quick look at that before we flip it back over and read it. Earth energy coming out. Again, a beautiful, beautiful balance on the board here with air and earth doing masculine and feminine things for us. Now, the buffalo is a much more slow moving energy than this. It's also a lot more sustaining of an energy than this. And again, the reversal means an exterior force, okay? Upright cards in this deck, it's just how I choose to read it, means internal forces. So coming from the exterior, we get some real strong stability here. This is resources, advice, mentorships, programs, education, those kind of things. The people you need, the things you need in the places, spaces, and time that you need. So there's a beautiful divine timing coming through here. If you know any kind of herding animal, they go with the natural seasons, okay? And it might not be the exact same date as last year, but it's based on the scent and the magnetic field and the energetic course of nature. So very healthy, very strong, and very capable coming in here, this energy for you, to protect you, to guide you, to help you along your journey. Who knows? And with that, we've picked out our second deck for this reading. We are going to be using the Return of Spirit Oracle. I love this deck. It has been a hot minute since we've seen it, so I guess we're just switching it up today. It's been a while since we've seen these cards, and I like the way it feels. So a lot of room for breaking tradition, or that's not the way. It's not tradition. It's what we're breaking is right now is the cycles that don't serve us in any way. So it could be traditions, but that's a very rebellious spirit. And that's not what most of the collective is going through right now. What most of so you might be unique in it, right? Discern. What most of the collective is going through right now is decluttering, right? And that means our habits and routines that don't serve us as well. It's very simple. It's natural, so there's a flow into this. It's like you can sit and write your to-do list and all the things you want to get done this season, but the natural flow of things is an even smoother, more efficient and organized way of doing things. And you don't have to write a list. Everything gets done. It gets done with ease and grace. It is completely effortless, okay? Now, because effortless is coming through, we get a strong sense of, but I want to put in effort. And that's a good thing, because when you work out really hard and you have that feeling of like, when you suck in the air because your body is just working so hard and it feels so just like an activation alignment, so powerful. We are called to do that kind of work as well. So surrender is a big type of work for the energy of the collective right now. You have to surrender. You have to flow, because need is trumping want, period. As soon as that is done and you get the in-between moments, the downtime, the work is done, you've got 3 days off, you know, that kind of energy, that's when you can really put in effort if you want to. Okay. A lot of us here at the EBINOTTI Collective, we really like to produce. So that means, you know, maximum effort. I just watched the Deadpool movies with Babe. He finally got me to watch all 3 of them, I think. It was 3 Deadpool movies, and maximum effort has been a huge message coming through for the collective. So I just love that so much. I think that's so funny. I had so many downloads coming in, not to this reading, but over the last, as I knew, okay, we're going to do the reading, we're going to get it done on the full moon day. The downloads have been endless. And sitting here now, not so much of it is coming up. A few little things here and there, but I feel like this is going to be one of those moon cycles where it's really in the moment. Everything is happening in the moment. And there's not a lot of planning or writing or journaling or philosophizing, analyzing. And that brings up another astrological event that I know is going on. The North Node just went from Aries, which is my North Node. The North Node just went from Aries to Pisces. So North and South Node are always the polarity zodiac. So if the North Node is in Aries, the South Node was just in Libra. And now that North Node has moved to Pisces, the South Node is just in Virgo. So if you think about analyzing things, that is Virgo. Like, that is the South Node. That's where we're going to have challenge. That's where we're going to have struggle, triumph as well. That's where your greatest triumphs will come from. But the resistance to the lessons, this is the beginning of that shift. So there's going to be a lot of chunky. We're just at the beginning of the race here. Just because your first lap was good doesn't mean the next 14 are going to go the way you were planning, right? So just getting started here, and I like it. Being careful not to overanalyze. Okay, the mind can really get you sick here. And tapped out. So brain fog, like I'm an intellectual person. I am a Pisces, so Virgo and analyzing is one of my favorite things to do. But I've especially been called lately to surrender, the need to write it down, figure it out, and plan ahead of time. If you use the water energy or any kind of flow state, fire is coming through really strong with that youthful childlike energy again, you can flow and just move so much more efficient and fast than you can with your human, or what they call the lizard brain. Which reminds me, actually, before we get on to bottom of the deck for Return of Spirit Oracle, under the black egg, when I picked it up to show it to you, we had the lizard card with fire energy. So there's that message, right? The lizard brain is going to be slightly in conflict with the air elements. We want to use wind, air, the breath. Again, air and fire coming together in the solar plexus chakra to express the breath and the power of that energy to clear the mind, to keep the mind in function and survival and understanding, critical understanding. Okay, so it's feeling very ground-like, big activations coming in here. The lizard also giving us with the fire element, giving us the solar flare activation of the sun. If you've been called to sun gaze, sun bathe, work with the sun, the way I have with my plants, you're working with the sun, okay? That's that reasoning, okay? It's to get yourself into alignment with the natural state of what's going on right now. So back to the Return of Spirit Oracle. Bottom of the deck to get us started as a theme for this deck is the caretaker energy. And if you look at that sacred geometry and all of those wonderful things coming together to create this image in these colors with the artist's intuitive. So take a second to have a look at any of these cards that come up that really hit you. Again, we were talking color theory, so we're adding shape and texture into that now energetically. As an artist, there's, again, so many things coming up. The caretaker energy is not about people pleasing. It's about being a caretaker, okay? And you have to be really, really, really good at that self, taking care of the self before you can do it for others and it be healthy. You might be a really, really good nurse or, end of life care or mother or, father, brother, son. You're a great nurturer and all of that. But if you're not caring for the self first, it will drain you trying to nurture another, without receiving the full cup energy. Again, full moon Cancer, you need to fill the cup. Otherwise, it's going to be a desert energy coming through really strong again now that we saw that lizard. So the black egg feeling very dragon-like as we get our first card. We're going to get two of these as well. Ooh, we get the right card. Write it out, write it down. So here's where writing is being called. Write that book, write the song, write the poem, write out a to-do list because it is important for you right now. Writing things you've never written before, like, oh, I go to the grocery store, I've never written a list. So picking up writing and putting down writing. Big message for the collective. So there's something you have to say. Now's the time to say it. Okay, or now's the time to start writing the campaign speeches, the brand image, the business plan. Okay, this is feeling very creative. So using your fire, this is air, but it's feeling fiery because it says firefly. Using your fire energy to use air, activating your fire energy to utilize the air element, okay, to get some writing done. However that is coming out for you collectively, okay? There's a lot of different amazing people that tune in to collective messages. So however that's coming up for you, please do. Ooh, and we get our next card. Woo! And bottom of the deck, recognition. We're going to talk about that. It's got a big, fierce guide energy to it. Okay, our second card for the reading, power. Straight up. We've seen this card a lot in the last, well, not a lot. We've seen this card enough in the last 6 months to know that we are on a cycle, an upgrading of the power energy. So now these two sitting together on one side of the altar. Again, the buffalo being in reverse, representing an exterior force. Okay, so talking masculine energy being the spear, that's like the thing that interferes, influences, impacts, advises, etc. Coming in with power here, first of all, big messages, messages being received, opportunities being pitched, so given to you to activate power, to accept power. That's the job offer, the the opportunity for a promotion, things like that. It's like, will you accept this? Yes or no? And it's coming from the buffalo spirit, somebody in charge of the earth energy or element in this case, be it the finances, the payroll, the application process, the whatever, the person who can say yes to something, giving you power, activating your power, influencing you to activate your power. Okay, because nobody can make you do anything. This is only an energy that is available to you, whether or not you choose it. That's where desire comes in. You do have willpower. You might not desire to be focusing in this arena in your life, but you do have the choice, which is your willpower, to, you know, go this way or that. And what do you base that on? You base it on your desire. You know what I mean? Again, the intellectual energy coming out with the air element. Okay, and you want to see them all. I do. That's what this is all about. It's taking the time to write out your pros and cons, to weigh it out, to make sure that you fully understand something, writing for a second opinion, reading the fine print, using Google to, you know, translate or define something so that we do feel empowered when we are making decisions coming from an exterior force. Okay, great. Let me just take 1 second to get this set up. I have another camera set up coming for you guys, so you're going to be able to see the altar the way I see it. It is your reading, after all. It's the least we could do. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you are subscribed here on YouTube if you want to see more content. We do these readings every full moon and new moon, okay? And there's going to be all kinds of fresh new content, including a divine feminine alignment program coming out this year. So keep an eye out and recognize. Okay, recognition here coming through. First message, very powerful, as the clarity to recognize. That is discernment, okay? It's also this energy of being recognized, getting your just desserts. I heard, yes, getting your just desserts. Travel coming through really strong with this. Not an energy I usually get off of this card. Maybe we read the book. If you read the book, the little booklet that comes and defines the cards for you intuitively from the author, maybe, you know, travel is somewhere in that card, but it's definitely an energy I'm picking up for you. There is something to do with making moves. And that's what this recognition is really about. So whether you're recognizing something or being recognized for something, this is what the offer comes from. Okay, this is the spark and the intuitive hit. This is the moment of recognition. It's like 1 second ago, you didn't know this thing, and now you do. I was actually watching Men in Black, the original Men in Black, last night. And if you remember at the beginning of it, that's what the guy from Men in Black is pitching to him. It's like, oh, you know, 1,000 years ago, everybody knew that the earth was the center of the universe. And 500 years ago, everybody knew that the earth was flat. And 5 minutes ago, you knew that humans were alone on this planet. So it's that in a moment, the recognition of a truth. You are perfect for this job. Boom, it's yours. You recognize, it's like the moment where your life levels up and the world around you levels up, and you said yes because it was effortless, but it takes a whole week for you to process what the fuck just happened. And it's not some tragedy, it is a miracle. All I keep feeling and hearing is a miracle. Poof. Love that for us. Love that for us. Cheers to you. Before we pick out, well, not while we pick out our tarot deck, we're just going to have some sips here. Trigger warning, we're about to smoke if you are triggered by smoking. Let's see. I got a new deck that I thought when I sat down, for sure, it was the only deck that I was like really thinking about and excited to use. It's a new deck that I got for Christmas from my auntie called the Mermaid Tarot, and I've just been loving it. Let's go with it. I was like, is it being called or am I just being biased here? I don't want to put my will into it. So with that power card coming out, the solar plexus, the fire center, and chakra of the body, we know to be a little bit careful with our power right now, okay? And our words and our sparky, crunchy, prickly energy, okay? We're keeping it pretty quiet around here. And it's just because the energy's been a little heavy, bringing us to one of those downloads I was talking about that I've been processing for us for a little while now. The dreams. Let's talk about the dream space, my friends. Energetically, especially as divine feminines, meaning females, because again, we all have divine feminine energy within us, okay? As divine feminines, the amount of energy work being done in our sleep is insane. Can you see it on my face? Can you see it? It's like fully active, fully, awake in ways that we can't comprehend when we're like actually awake working with the human body. It's like the human body is being put completely into, like when you go into surgery, you get put under. That's how sleep is right now. You might be sleeping physically, but surgery's going on, okay? Like neurosurgeon stuff, big stuff that is way beyond, I just heard, way beyond your pay grade. Not to say you can't understand it and you won't be the next neurosurgeon. We are all called to do the craziest of things. If your life and your personality and your spirit have never surprised you, buckle up, buttercup, is what I just heard. But I was going to say gear up. And just leave it at that. But my shadow's like, buckle up, buttercup, because the shadow thrives in chaos because it likes to compete. It likes to show you how capable it is of defending you, fighting the dark, learning. The shadow, believe it or not, is in a huge education moment right now, and that's in our waking life. Going back to the dream space, though. You can tap into your dreams in any way that you want to. I have a really hard time remembering my dreams for a few different reasons. So either way, whether you're really into analyzing the dreams and taking that time in your meditations or in your routines to focus on that or not, you can really align with what you're doing in your dream space. That is a third of the day, 8 hours. In a 24-hour cycle is a third. That is 30%. That is a huge amount of time and energy. So if you're waking up tired and it's not your fucking diet or some imbalance in the body because you're focusing on the chakras and you're listening to the, what I should be eating and what I shouldn't. And yeah, you cheat and yeah, you're not perfect, but it's like, no, it can't be that. This is what it is, okay? Within your grid, let's call it what it is. Within your grid, there's just a lot going on, okay? Within your grid and within your grid, there's just a lot going on. So taking the process as we need to, appreciating that we are spiritual warriors out here and we do the most, okay? So when you do get journal prompts, when you're prompted to write the love and the nurturing and the kindness that you have for yourself. And if you have to get the parasitic energy out of you, write it and burn it if you can. I wouldn't hold on to anything that's heavy. You're writing letters to people, to your younger self, to your children, to, those type of, I need to get it out. I need to say the thing. When you're done, if you cannot deliver this letter, you're not called to deliver this letter, burn it, send it back to ether, okay? Because we are talking ether element, and that's what this is all about, especially with the black egg being out here, baby. What do you think that's about? Write it and burn it. This is your letters to Santa. This is your letters to God, letters to all the people that you've done wrong, to yourself when you've done wrong. You can also take it to, what am I seeing here? The waterfall, the tree, the river, and the rock. So for me, that's go out in nature. You can leave offerings in nature without polluting nature. You know what I'm saying? A little something on a napkin or something like that, and you bury it in the earth. A little bit of ink and whatnot. It's not gonna hurt the earth. You write on your skin, it absorbs into your skin. Like, how much damage did that do to you? That the earth can take it, right? So, not polluting or littering. Okay, try to get yourself some toilet paper or a napkin or something that's gonna biodegrade out there. Don't be a shithead. And I'm in Kitimat, BC, okay? So we're real serious about keeping the bushes clean around here. Let it out, let it go. It's feeling real stanky now. It's time to get into the tarot. And we'll light a smoke in a second here, so cheers to you. Cheers to you. We're communing. I can't wait to get you guys out by the waterfall and stuff again. I love just having a smoke and just sitting with you, as bringing you to the places that I like to sit, and it feels very private, like it's just me and you, and it feels really beautiful. Even when I go back and watch those videos, it's like I find a meditation energy in it and a healing energy in it. So I'm going to try and do even more of that this year and really show you guys my surroundings and my environment, and hopefully encourage you to have a new relationship with nature and with your environment and your home, and creating your communities and villages wherever you are, even if you're in a new place. I know there's a lot of people moving all over the world right now, so if you're in a new place and you're like, oh my god, I'm still in culture shock and I'm fucking depressed, and you know, seasonal depression's a thing, culture shock's a thing, homesickness is a thing. All of these energies are out in the collective right now. And with full moon Cancer, it's like, that's why as divine feminines, you might be feeling so many emotions, because they're not all yours. The part of you that loves, you know, that part is taking and healing energy for others, the trees, the earth, the animals, the spirits, the people, all the time. So cheers to the work that you do, because you do a lot of work that you're never going to give yourself full credit for or understand until you pass this life into whatever is next, and you know, and get that time to process. So here's to you, baby. That is cold. That is a cold coffee. I'm not a big iced coffee person, and sometimes when my coffee goes cold, I'm like, what? You know, but it's not so bad today. It's not so bad. I'll give you one of my naughty vices. I've been drinking a lot of Tim Hortons lately, meaning like 5 in the last week, right? Which for me is like so much. It's probably 4 in the last 7 days, but we'll go with 5 because it might have been 5. A large French vanilla with a shot of espresso. Pew pew. So the energy of really leaning into some of our handicaps and our crutches. And it's just like, okay, don't shit all over yourself just because you haven't nailed the New Year's resolutions things or really got a chance to start on anything yet. Any time in the winter season, you've got 3 months. Okay, you've got 3 months to set new routines in place and start them seeds, okay? Before you really gotta even think about putting them in the ground, or it's even an option. So don't worry too much about things that fail, things that didn't work the first time you started. You just clear out the containers, new seeds, new dirt, try it again. So giving second chances to things that deserve it, especially the things that you desire. And being graceful, because there's all kinds of shit that we're just not going to bring. We thought we were bringing, we wrote it on the list, it was very important, and instead of doing it, we're going to fail at it a couple of times and decide to write it off. The second you write it off, that is success. Because you can look at it as, yeah, it didn't work out, yeah, I'm sad, go through the natural emotions, that's fine, but now you have a reason. You have experience and knowledge, and you tested the theory. So you have a reason to not do that thing, not want that thing, not be that thing anymore. And that was what was really important, not whether or not you were, you know, A++ at that thing that you thought you wanted to be. Okay? Okay, here we go. You ready for the tarot? 48 minutes in. Perfect. So am I. Bottom of the deck to get us started. We're going to do our traditional spread, which is a 5-card reading with 5 cards to clarify. Okay, I call it the quick pick. When we do these readings, it is not a quick pick reading. 15-20 minutes is what I call a quick pick reading. It ain't that, but it's the same spread. So bottom of the deck, the Magician, Major Arcana number 1, starting at the beginning. Fresh energy, baby. This is the writer. This is the creator. This is the spear. But it's the spear being forged. It's not the spear being used. Okay, so again, a very slow, stagnant energy for the masculine, but magician is in no way stagnant. It's learning, it's cultivating, it's sharpening and bringing together and doing. It's a doing kind of energy. The magician coming out, Aries energy to get us started. Okay, so let's talk about the masculine and all that good stuff. The things that we want to get done right now. Again, surrender, surrender, surrender. Okay, baby. I know it's hard to focus on water when you really want to be in fire or even air. Anything but water, right? It's too slow. Fuck. It's paddling and then not paddling. Two totally different speeds being worked with here. We want to have like a rocket engine forward towards the things that we think are for us in our desires. 100% the mind is on board. We want that type of blazing trail energy, but we're being called to remove the paddle from the water, rest back, feet up, look at the sun. So the energy of that is really about surrendering again, going with the flow. So slowing down energetically, especially within the mind, slowing down. That'll help with the brain fog. And if you have any kind of heart or gut issues right now, slowing down the mind will help with that. And basking in the glow, the glory, the healing frequency, the power of the sun. Okay, and for some of us, if we don't slow down, we're not going to receive this message or this opportunity as clean and easy as we could if we were in a Zen-like flow state. Okay, so it's like you're running all around, the phone rings, you miss it. It would have been the moment, you know, so you can activate being there for the call, for the lucky break, for that ticket that gets pulled out of 100,000 tickets and it's your ticket. Top 10 and 80 kind of energy where you are the one, the lucky one, the one at the right place at the right time. You can activate that energy and align to that energy by slowing the fuck down. Ooh, my shadow wants to come out and talk about it. Okay, I just saw Empress. Let's keep shuffling and get our cards while we continue discussing. So I might have been wrong about the magician being Aries energy, because now I'm thinking about it. Now that we saw the Empress, the Emperor is Aries energy. So the magician might be, it's like there and then it keeps disappearing. So irrelevant, but might be relevant if it popped up in your mind as well. First card out for the reading, the moon. The moon. Look at the throat chakra energy. A lot of clearing and healing going on in the throat chakra. If you're having anything in the chest, it's that type of time of year where we focus on that type of healing anyways. So the moon, we're reading full moon Cancer, baby. This is full moon Cancer. This is Cancer energy. It's a Pisces card, but Cancer's planet, ruling planet, is the moon. Okay, so there's a lot of synchronicities, a lot of signs for the things that your mind is finding it hard to slow down with. A lot of healing, a lot of synchronicities, lots of energy coming in to help. That's what this buffalo spirit energy is about. This healing energy that's coming in for you from the exterior. It's about help. Okay? Whatever kind of sustenance and resource that you need, here it comes. Okay? It's subconscious, it's hidden, it's in the dark right now. You don't see this coming. For some of the timeline in the collective, this is something that is crossing you or just crossed you. But for the majority of the collective, you don't even see it yet because this person is way on the other side of where this card is. Okay, and the moon is about mystery and illusion. Some of us are lucky, so we've already kind of, you know, caught that wave, but it hasn't crested yet. Do you know what I'm saying? So for the most part, this is a lucky type of energy. The moon does not always come up in that way, but it's coming up in that way today, okay? A couple more cards out for us. Second card out, the Seven of Cups. There's the distortion. There's the confusion. There's a lot of positive energy coming in for you, but there is a dark entity trying to sway you, get you distracted, confuse you enough that you are not authentic to your true self. You are not aligned to your water center, your heart space, the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra coming into this is really talking about, as my ear totally shifts energetically with a bit of a ringing, the sacral chakra is all about pleasure. So guilt can be the distortion used to abuse. Is, you know, people that are guilt tripping you. That can be a little bit light because you recognize it because they're family, they're friends. These are your people. It's like the devil, you know. But this can come from a much higher, much bigger force as well. So keeping the head space clear, okay? We want to be able to discern, and we want to be able to see very, very clearly. So the eyes getting a bit of an upgrade here. Very interesting. Central energy with our third card out, the King of Wands. So not joking when I say that the fire energy on the altar here is pretty serious, okay? King of Wands centrally, this is the masculine king, master king of the fire element. So he knows power. That's like James Bond, right? He's cool, he's calm, he's collected. Fuck, he knows how to wear a suit. He ain't gonna, no matter what anyone says to him, he never reacts. But he always responds. Always. It's a very, I'm feeling very feminine and petty in my shadows, like, but I'm a feminine, so I'm not trying to be James Bond, you know. This is a message that this is the energy that's called. So when the time comes, do your best not to react to the fire activation, because it's going to be a lot of things and people and bullshit trying to distract you. Look at politics, look at, you know, that kind of stuff going on in the world, and you can kind of see it. It's like, you will not distract me today, bitch. Okay. Fourth card out, the Three of Swords. Yeah. Again, this is a healing energy today. It's coming up as people wanting to reconcile, people wanting to discuss. Again, I heard disgust. Disgust. A lot of fire energy, masculine energy does not want to go there emotionally, but of course it's what's called to be done. So hopefully without the social lubricant of alcohol, we can face these type of emotions down within ourselves and within the collective. It's definitely a group effort happening here, okay? So don't be the one. Don't be the one this time who turns into the mean girl or the cheating spouse or the opening the door, the third door, you know what I mean? Keep things focused and simple, down to 2 right now in every area of your life if you can. The second that a third thing is on the table, know that we are shifting, and embrace it. Embrace your truth and where you're at, and do the honorable thing, okay? Especially with King of Wands right beside that. Again, he's very capable, but he doesn't want to discuss the emotions, because Three of Swords is not an emotional card. Typically, it's air and water energy. The air aspect is like, look, you know, my kindness is not always going to be nice to you, okay? I'm going to hurt your feelings a lot of times, because that's this energy. That's what it's very capable of doing. It's hurting your feelings, because believe it or not, yes, he says, in my world, that was a kindness. That was the kindest thing I could do for you, is be perfectly honest. Or if you're suffering, I will come in and end it. Woo! Intense. Intense. Fifth and final card out before we clarify. Wow, this has been a really popular energy, but I've never seen it in this deck. The Eight of Cups. This is my Spirit Quest card. So we started with the moon and we finished with the Eight of Cups. Full moon Cancer, my beautifuls. Full moon Cancer, okay? So really taking note of what is on path for us and what does not feel on path for us anymore. I love that fire and water are so relevant for us today, because it's a beautiful balancing of masculine and feminine. If you see them looking like a power couple. But what we really need to focus on here is the intuitive, the waters, the healing, the health from a emotional standpoint. Okay, we want to stay in alignment so we can hear. That's the real big message there. Stay in alignment so we can hear, because when you're called to go on a spirit quest, right now there are so many different callings that I'm picking up for the collective. So a lot of travel energy coming through, like surprise trips. And it's just, it seems like even though we're only a few days into 2025, it really feels like it's shaping up to be a big eventful year for you or me or like us, you know what I mean? There's a in, out, and the group kind of energy. 1, 2, 3, and we saw that 3 of Swords, right? So we got one card, our first clarifier, clarifying the Moon card. We get the 7 of Pentacles. Really beautiful. It's a patient type of energy. And when we're dealing with the subconscious and, you know, the things that are below the surface, okay, a bit of a Scorpio energy coming out all of a sudden, just to be like, this is how you navigate the underworld. You see here in the Moon card, half of her is underneath the water, speaking about that subterranean level, Turanian coming in with the 7 of Pentacles. So we worked really hard on some things that we'll be letting go of. We saw the Spirit Quest card coming out as our 5th. So with our first, and we'll get more when we clarify that one, but with our first, now that we have the clarifier, it's like there's a patient energy, because we know that things that we've worked on are no longer going to require our attention, and things that we had no concept that they were coming in are about to be taking up a ton of our time. So the less that you have to detach from or maneuver around, the more free time, free space, free energy, free effort, free concern, care. Are you a good listener? Have you been thinking about stuff like that lately? The more freedom that you have, the easier this transition will be. So if you've been called to free up in areas of your life, anything in your life, you can lean into that now, knowing that that is validated and activated. Beautiful. Okay. Again, the pregnancy energy coming through. So do be careful, my dears, as we get our second clarifier. Under the 7 of Cups, we get major arcana number 6, the Lovers. You see them there up on the wall. L'amoureux, the Lovers, okay? So here, I love this card. If you want to have a little look-see there, we get a real reflection energy and mirror energy expressing what the twin flame journey was and is. You can break that down, Gemini. You can break that down with yin and yang. You can break that down with many philosophies that we've discussed here on this channel, or you might have your own information, education, cultural experiences with that balancing of masculine, feminine, dark and light, as above, so below, as within, so without. Okay, so we get Hermeticism in here, Gnosticism, all of the philosophies coming up really strong. And no wonder we're so damn confused, 7 of Cups, okay? But there are big choices to make. And when you want to make choices for love, for all of the things that matter most to you, your core values, your philosophies, the things, people, places, things, and yourself that you love, you want to make that balancing the head and the heart. You can't have the head make decisions and you can't have the heart make decisions. You need them to come together. And that's why there has been or is a lot of confusion in you right now, because one of those two centers is getting an activation, an upgrade. You need to allow the upgrade to come in and fully be realized. That's why the King of Wands, I think, is central, because he's an action-oriented figure. He's extremely calm, but he always responds. So when action is needed, nobody's better to call upon, the phone a friend function than King of Wands. And this is your energy. This is energy you're sitting in. So whether you embody King of Wands energy or you need that resource with the Buffalo Spirit, we already know that this is an incoming energy, very much so resource-based, okay? And mentor, leader-based. So if you need that impact, that influence, that mentorship, that information, I just heard incoming. Okay, let's see. I feel the need to slow down again just a little bit. I get Really excited to speed up the readings when we get over an hour, because I don't want to take up any more of your precious time than is absolutely necessary. But I do love the readings, and I do try to give all the messages. I'm not in a rush. When I sit down, I'm on the timeline, okay? Centrally, we got our clarifier. Under the King of Wands, more fire energy with the Six of Wands, talking about the lovers. Okay, because this card, the lovers here, is going to be right beside the Six of Wands. Major Arcana number 6 is the lovers. Anything major arcana rules the minor arcana, so we have a 6-6 energy here, which again, supportive, equal, generous, balanced, giving, nurturing, that caregiver energy that we first saw coming through in a really healthy way. The Six of Wands is also talking about recognition, being recognized. It's not just being successful. Everybody says Six of Wands is success energy. It is. But what kind of success, you know? And it's the recognition, the paycheck, recognized by that dollar, okay? Recognized by the gatekeeper of an industry. You know, you can't get the promotion until a person sees you do the thing and then gives you the promotion. So big recognition energy coming in with fire. You can feel it in the fire center. If you've been focusing, if you like to energetically, intuitively pick things up, look at the fire recognition that's here, okay? Full moon Cancer. Cancer's the water sign, ruled by the moon, planetary body, the moon, our celestial moon, which is really beautiful, but again, the need to bring up that Mars is retrograding in Cancer and it's chunky. It's a huge activation for this collective because we're feminine. I feel like we have a bit of a leg up here. We get a bit of privilege, a bit of the past, the lucky one, you know, however you want to look at that. Aren't we always, us beautiful, beautiful women? Aren't we the lucky ones? You know, oh, it's so easy when you're a girl. Oh, that's what the boys always say to us, right? That's what our men say to us. Ah, you don't know. All you got to do is smile and you get away with that ticket. And, you know, so there's a bit of the enjoying the differences and the equalities, respecting and appreciating the differences between masculine and feminine. Big success energy coming in. So if you're doing anything, know that that's the sign, okay? Fourth clarifier, under the Three of Swords, which was a sticky energy, a prickly, crunchy energy that we needed to look at. Queen of Cups. Again, Cancer energy coming through. The Queen, the feminine, master of the water element coming in to be like, boom. Because the Three of Swords typically is a heart with 3 swords in it. That's bringing up the water, the heart, bringing up the water, the feminine aspects of things. And here showing the mastery, right? So these are lessons. A lot of people are going to come at you in janky ways. And that's a really harsh message to have to receive. The reason I'm giving it the way I am is because you're the one receiving it, okay? You're the one whose friends are going to be all fucked up. People are going to be betraying you left, right, and center, trying to lie, trying to cheat, trying to, you know, and you're just like way above it. It's not even a judgmental kind of energy. It's just prayers, man. Prayers and compassion. It's the type of person who cheats on you and spends the rest of their I don't want to say life, but you know what I mean, a long time. They spend a long time regretting it. So we don't want that, even if it's like, you know, the pride in you and the core value that you hold for yourself is like, I fucking told you. I fucking told you not to betray me. You know, that's a very real, you know, central energy. He's the king of fire. He's pretty straight up about it. He doesn't say much, but when he speaks, it's like, you heard that, right? Yeah, because it hit all of the chakras. Okay, so very harsh truths on the board here, but without exposure. The Three of Swords, without exposing. It's like somebody stabbed you in the back. You didn't get to see them. This is somebody stabbing you right in the front, okay? So you get to see it for what it is within yourself and within others. We all struggle with this energy, so try not to point and laugh or judge, lest you be the next one to learn the lesson and be exposed in front of us all, okay? Very strong, shadowy energy coming through there to talk about it and tell us, give us the warnings from a higher, remember I talked about the crown chakra? We're talking higher energies here. We're talking high, the highest, the most high, the on high. Don't become the next karmic lesson for the entire collective to look at and be like, ooh, anything but that, anything but that. Okay. I also just got the mother wound energy, which is, you know, the growing up and being like, I don't want to be like my mom. I don't want to be like my mom. There's a very broken family dynamic that they programmed us to have. Final card. There's a very broken, they wanted the family dynamic completely broken so that we can't heal together and commune together and be strong together, of course, right? So the mother wound coming in a big way between mother and child, mother and son, mother and daughter, mother and father energy, the equals with the Geminis, with the lovers, we've seen it. And it's that energy of the appreciation. It's time to forgive and forget. Believe it or not, you will never forget. The body keeps score. Have you heard of that book or that, you know, trending philosophy online right now? The body keeps score, okay? So don't worry so much about, oh, if I forget, it's going to happen again. That's having very little faith in the self, okay? The thing that hurt you, that you dealt with for 20-something years, there is no chance that you're just gonna like, oh, throw on my rainbow glasses and walk straight into the bear den. Come on, give yourself more credit than that. Of course not. But it is time to forgive the things that were done to you, the things that you did to others, giving and receiving, heal as much as you can with the feminine and masculine, but especially with the feminine in that arena, the mother wound, the inner child, feminine, and all of that, because right now there's a really supportive, beautiful masculine energy willing to come in and help you work on that, okay? Our final clarifier before we wrap, I didn't even look at it. Under the 8 of Cups, we get the Page of Pentacles, talking about rainbows, prisms, color theory, inner child. What a beautiful way to finish the reading, okay? So going on a spirit quest, making decisions to leave things behind us or move towards things because the abundance, the unbelievable amount of energy in a certain arena for you is so powerful. As I see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 ones come across the clock for us. We saw the magician energy to get us started. It is not surprising that you have manifested. The message is you are not manifesting. Manifesting is energy that you do not need to spear output at all right now. This is a receiving energy, cup. You need to allow things to come in. Making decisions, making moves, taking action, all of the things with the fire and the air and the spear. But the real message is to find this frequency when it comes in for you, to allow it, because it is always trying to come in for you. A lot of what's going on in this is a specific message for you. A lot of what's going on in the collective right now, especially in the dream space while you're sleeping, is because of this. Either healing so that you can feel and recognize this. Remember, we saw recognition and discernment being very important here, being able to recognize. So within the dream space, there's healing, big, chunky things. We're not going to tap into that too hard, so that we can finally get the inner child out of the safe house. Okay, that was the energy I heard. Also in the dream space, we're activating because we've been avoiding. Some of us are avoiding really strong this type of energy, which is a little woo-woo. It's a little childish. If, you know, we're scared that if we tap into the inner child, we're going to be immature, silly, and yet we have such a refined and elegant appearance. Do you see what I'm saying? So allowing this to go there in the way that feels slightly uncomfortable, but authentic, authenticity. Page of Pentacles coming in very, very strong here. So it's an energy that you'll know when you feel it. If you don't know what to feel for because you're not familiar, I'm a Pisces, okay? 8 of Cups, Saturn Pisces energy, I'm very familiar with. Page of Pentacles, I'm also very familiar with because I'm an academic. I love the new adventure, new resources, new job, new thing. Well, especially younger. I'm not trying to be like new everything anymore. I'm trying to stabilize, but this is that energy. I'm very comfortable with it. That does not mean you're going to be, okay? So you want to find the thing that's slightly out of your comfort zone. It's kind of that self-help basics message. You want to step just outside of your comfort zone. Fear is the way through, but you don't want to lean into things that are uncomfortable because they're not authentic. It's a distraction. It's, you know, trying to get you off of the powerhouse of energy that your inner child has for you creatively, or could just be that physical energy. With the Page of Pentacles, you need physical energy right now to activate fire so that you can create from, you know, the ethers or wherever you like to pull your inspiration. Oh, what a beautiful image. Bottom of the deck. Final message before we wrap for full moon Cancer. Reading out the ether element for the collective here at EBINOTTI Official. The Six of Swords. Look at him go. I love it. He's just like strapped to a fucking seal. He's just riding it. It's a calm energy, but it doesn't start that way, okay? From the Six of Swords, we came from the Five, which is like hugely like an obstacle course where if you misstep, you get fucking whacked with something, okay? Do you remember like Wipeout, the show, instead MXC? That's how Five of Swords can feel. And in this moment with this message, the Six of Swords being the progress, we saw the Lover's energy, major arcana number 6, come up. So again, we have a minor arcana 6 discussing these choices that we make. You can resist. You can resist the obstacle course, okay? And it's going to hurt a lot more. I just heard it's going to be a lot more humiliating. It's going to be a lot more embarrassing. It's going to hurt a lot more. Or you can simply give it your college best, your good old college best, you know, and just be done with it. Have some humility, let it slide, mistakes, failures. Does anyone like win at Wipeout or MXC? Those, I don't really think so. Right? But in the end, somebody gets, you know, 100K and they're the one who gets to take it home. So there's this energy of you getting to be the one. And it might be something way the fuck out of your comfort zone or something you would have never thought of. Like, is he dog sledding with a seal? Is that a merman dog sledding a seal? Like, oh, I love that. Okay, so there's going to be something that's very you. With the Eight of Cups, again, that message, it's always authentic. It's like you don't need the sing song to hear the sirens call to get you to the ocean. You were already there. You love the ocean. You've been at the ocean 6 times this month. You know, it's like you were the perfect target. And even if it's a negative, dark entity trying to force you into distraction, the light is always there with you. It's not just one person gets to, you know, taint you up. It's like, no, you get both sides and you get to be the one to choose. So even if you're walking, again, that comfort zone, pushing through the fear type of energy, getting to where you're meant to be so that you line up the timing, this is trusting the intuition in very beautiful, powerful, unique ways. So welcome to Pisces, my friends. Like we mentioned before, the North Node has shifted yesterday into Pisces right before we got the full culmination of this energy of the full moon in Cancer. Okay, so it's been this heightened and this huge and then bang, right into alignment. So when the moment comes, do not hesitate. Trust yourself and know that the timing right now is going to be unbelievably miraculous. Okay, so we can really get in alignment. That's another thing that sixes talk about, because our clock does the 6 and then the 12, the 6 and the 12, the 6 and the 12. So it creates its own energy. If you're into numerology or any of those kind of synchronicity things, there's 2 things coming up. 8 hours being a third of the day. So 24 divided by 8 equals 3. So 8 hours being a third of the day, that's the sleep time. So giving that the energy, and also the 6 and the 12 on the clock being the half and half of the 24 hours. So there's a few different cycles and timelines coming up. The 3 is feminine, the 4 is masculine. Okay, so we saw the Emperor and the Empress, which they are major arcana 3 and 4. They were bottom of the decks for us, so we didn't get to hold on to them. But that's what these lovers and the twin flame and the yin and yang and all of that really discuss. It's about knowing whose activation is needed right now and recognizing it in both people, masculine and feminine. Okay, this one's feminine. They both agree. Yep. And she's already moving. And vice versa. This one's, you know, masculine and he's already moving. The feminine really being called to calm and neutralize the energy. So Love that for us. I'm not feeling the need to get out of here just yet, which is a little bit odd because it's quite a long reading. We're even losing light and stuff here. Hey. So we're just going to have a smoke and see if any of the other downloads or anything from the cards comes up. Shout out to Shakespeare. If you've been watching my content as long as I've been on the internet, you've probably seen Shakespeare. I think he's been here since the very beginning. I need to go back and figure out what is the very first thing I ever put on the internet with my face, my content. You know, what was the first video I ever put out, that kind of thing. So we're doing a big reflection energy. Things I'm seeing on the board that are relevant: 2 7s, the 6s, okay? That's the big pairing energy that I'm feeling. So 2 7s is about spiritual energy. It's, you know, making decisions, but again, it's need over want. So there's not as much willpower and free will and choice in the 7 as there would be, let's say, in a 6. You can fully decide where to and where not to give energy, and you can fully decide where to and where not to receive energy from with the 6, okay? With the 7, the 3 and 3 has 1, and the 1 is spirit. So it's very interfered, you know what I mean? It's very... influence, impacted, interfered with. You don't get to have as much direction, but you get free will to adapt. You can use the 2 sides or the whole to adapt to that 1 as quickly as you can with the 7, if that's making sense. Numerology, animal, medicine, spirit, totems, elements, and nature coming up in a big way to talk to us about our own unique ways of healing and finding clarity in our lives. Let me just see if there's anything else here. I think that's it, guys. I think that's the it of it. So full moon energy, get under this full moon, do your bathing rituals, salt baths, work with the water element. You know what it is with the full moon. You definitely want to be focusing on drinking water, working with water, however water's being called for you, okay? Because Mars retrograding in Cancer is really, really struggling. So support your divine masculine within yourself, within the world, your partnerships, and all those things. Know that divine masculine is really in need of a little tender love and care right now. So give it the grace that it deserves, because it is capable and beautiful and worthy. Okay, we're gonna leave that one right there. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and doing the work that you do on you. Believe it or not, it makes a huge difference for the rest of us out here. So we love you for it. Thank you for being here. Check out the description box if you need anything from me. I'm always here. Give me a little bit of time to get back to you, just in case I'm traveling or anything like that is coming up. I will get back to you. You can reach out to me any way that you like on any of the social media platforms. Don't be shy. Okay, that's it. So keep an eye out for new content coming out. This is going to be the full moon reading for Cancer, the ether element. I might not break down the elements the way I traditionally have in the past. So we're going to try out a few new things here on EBINOTTI Official. I have a beauty channel as well here on YouTube. If you're interested, make sure you check out EBINOTTibeauty, okay? Also on Instagram, there's the Facebook page, all different content on all the platforms. So make sure you look around if you're curious, okay? We're out of here. I love you. I will see you on your next reading.